Final seconds. The Phoenix Suns are now 2 wins away from their first NBA championship.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another installment of Waterbreak. This is a mini series to quench your thirst while you're waiting for those OG sports culture episodes. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Brian Colbert. I am here with the illustrious Demo. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. I'm good. Glad to be on here, man. I love it.
Hey, man, I'm happy to be on here, too. There is nothing like getting to talk to the homies right after a basketball game. And ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, we are here because Game 2 just ended. Game 2 of the NBA Finals just ended. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Phoenix Suns, Chris Paul and his Phoenix Suns are up 2-0 in the series. Demo, early reactions to the game, man. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good about it, man. I'm initially a Chicago fan. I feel like watching the finals, my team not in it, but because I'm a basketball enthusiast, I feel like it was a good game. It was a great game.
And much like you, I'm in the same position where I don't have a dog in the race, right? My favorite team is the LA Lakers, but I'm looking at it a little differently than you because my LA Lakers got bounced by the Phoenix Suns. So to me, I feel like I got to root for the Phoenix Suns because if they win, then we lost to the defending champs. We ain't just lose to some team. We lost to the defending champs. So that's how I'm watching it too. But much like you, I'm watching it as a fan of basketball. So all right, Demo, the people know why we're watching, but now we need to get into the game. So first things first, your most valuable player of Game 2 of the NBA Finals.
Game 2, I got to give it to Chris Paul. He orchestrated the game. You know, he made the game flow the way that it needed to flow. You know, he changed. He kept the whole tempo of the game to where the Phoenix Suns benefited from it. Giannis did his thing too, and I mean, like if they would have won the game, I would have definitely gave it to Giannis because he was balling. But without a doubt, I have to say that it was Chris Paul. He just was doing everything. He was assisting. He was, scoring. He had 6 turnovers, which was bad. And that's uncharacteristic of him. But he still controlled the game. He still made sure that they came away with that W that they needed.
And I love that because we always got to show love to Chris Paul because we've all been waiting to see my guy in the finals, and he has showed up and showed out. So I can't take your MVP, right? Because I can't say Chris Paul. You took that from me. So I'm going to throw a little curveball, and I'm actually going to say Mikal Bridges is my MVP for Game 2. We know what we're going to get from Devin Booker. We know what we're going to get from Chris Paul. Those are the guys. But at this stage in their career, Chris Paul towards the back end of his career, he is not the best player on the court no more. Devin Booker, amazing scorer, with the future of the league. But right now, you could still chalk him up to a streaky scorer. He's not the best player on the court, but you know what you're going to get from them. So when you have a team like that, where you don't have the most dominant player on the court, where you don't have a Giannis, where you don't have a LeBron, where you don't have a Steph Curry, your role players are those guys that are going to win you those games. It has to be those guys that step up big. Game 1, we saw DeAndre Ayton step up huge. Game 2, Mikal Bridges, man. With guys like Mikal Bridges getting off, with guys like Crowder playing great defense, with guys able to come off the bench and make an impact like Cameron Payne, that's what's going to get Phoenix Suns the wins, right? Because you need those extra guys, man. And somebody like Mikal Bridges to actually go off and just make it a little easier for everybody else, that's team basketball right there. And I think that's what the Phoenix Suns have over Milwaukee Bucks, is that they have multiple guys that can get it done while their 2 stars are always going to get it done. And I don't know if we're really seeing that with the Bucks. And that leads me to my next question for you, Demo. The least valuable player of Game 2.
Oh, without a doubt. I hope this ain't what you thinking. I have to say Chris Middleton. He is the second best player on the Milwaukee Bucks. He did not show up. This is the second game in a row he has not shown up. It has hurt and cost them dire, for these 2 games. They need him to make his shots, and they need him to be aggressive, and he just wasn't that this game. I've seen a little bit of the defensive side out of Drew Holiday. So I feel like, I can't say Drew, even though I feel like Drew could be helping as well. He could be that third option, and he could step up since Chris Middleton wasn't there. But I mean, Chris Middleton was just he was dismal. I mean, I don't know how else to say it.
And I'm not going to disagree with you. Chris Middleton was not my least valuable player, though. Believe it or not, my least valuable player is probably the guy getting all the buzz and all the love and probably getting the least of the blame, which I think he should shoulder the majority of the blame. And that's Giannis Antetokounmpo to me. He was the least valuable player today, but let me explain why. Yes, Giannis had one of the strongest third quarters we have seen historically, right? He had a strong quarter. But what about the first half? Let's look at that first half real quick. If you are a two-time MVP, if you are the quote-unquote most dominant basketball player in the NBA, if you are being compared to Shaquille O'Neal, you cannot allow Drew Holiday to shoot more shots than you in the first half of the NBA Finals. I need that third quarter urgency for 4 quarters. This is the finals. We have been waiting to see Giannis in the finals his whole career. Something about the third quarter, he woke up and decided to play, and we see it too much from our stars. Yes, we have seen LeBron James coast in the first half and dominate in second halves, but Giannis is not LeBron James. LeBron in his prime. When he was on the court, this drop off to the second best player was substantial. I'm talking about just dominance and overall who's being the best player. You cannot say that about Giannis because at times we're looking at Chris Middleton as if he's the best player on the court. That proves we're not getting enough from Giannis. I'm not saying Giannis is a bum. I'm not saying he's a scrub. Giannis is incredible, but I need to see 4 quarters of elite dominant basketball in your first NBA Finals.
So the way I look at it, he was very dominant tonight. That's the way I look at it.
In the third quarter.
I get where you're coming from saying that. I can agree that he was a little, less
passive.
He was passive. He was less of himself in the first half. But when that third quarter came, he started bringing his team back. Mm-hmm. But where the problem was for their team is that nobody else showed up. That was what the problem was. You had some other role players knocking down some big shots like Connaughton. Connaughton knocked down some pretty big shots. So I was like, okay, Connaughton trying to show up. But nobody else really showed up offensively to give them anything. I don't care who you are, LeBron, Shaq, Kobe, Mike, I don't care who you are. If you don't have that other player, that secondary player giving you a little bit more, even if it wasn't necessarily points, you got to be given rebounds, defense, assists. I didn't see that from anybody. That's the reason why I feel like they lost. They just didn't have that second player come in and do what they were supposed to do. Support your superstar.
Drew Holiday should not outshoot you in any finals game. Should never have more shots than you in any finals game. Now, if Giannis, you have 10 assists, that's different. Giannis didn't have no assists in the first half. He had about 8 rebounds. He only shot 10 shots, and that's all I'm saying. Giannis is one of the greatest basketball players playing right now. Like you said, right? His dominance is ridiculous. I need to see it 4 quarters. That's it. Because Giannis, newsflash, brother, you're not going to beat this Phoenix team unless you give 4 quarters of great basketball. Hey, that's not a lot to ask. I'm not asking you to do it the whole playoffs. This is the finals. This is the moment you have been waiting for your whole life. You got here. You're here. You don't have to see LeBron. You don't got to see Kawhi. You are facing Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns. This is your moment, Giannis. You need to have 4 quarters of amazing basketball because now you're down 0-2, which means that the rest of the finals, every quarter, every minute you are on the court has to be as dominant as your third quarter. And that is all I'm saying because they will not win if Giannis isn't Giannis. That's all.
When you say somebody should have a certain amount of shots, it all go and I know we get into this, it all goes to coaching if that's the case. Are we running the plays for Giannis to get the ball? Is the point guard getting Giannis the ball? You get what I'm saying?
And now you mentioned the coaching of the Milwaukee Bucks and failing to get Giannis involved in the first half. So maybe it was coaching. How did you feel about the coaching in game 2?
So my opinion of it was, well, I like Monty Williams as it is already. You know, he's a black head coach. Then you got the black GM. You know, let's not even get into too much of that. But I feel like as far as what he did to control the game, first of all, you got Chris Paul, which arguably could be top 5 point guard ever. Some people might think he top 3 point guards ever. Where he's going to control the pace. So he's a coach in his own right on the floor. But Monty Williams, a defensive-minded coach, made sure that they control Giannis from doing whatever else he needed to do. They didn't pack the paint. They just let DeAndre Ayton guard him. He got his points, but nobody else was able to do nothing because they didn't leave anybody so that they could get off. Again, the next closest person was 17 points. That's a defensive game right there. I don't care how much points anybody else put up. If your best person put up 50, your next closest person put up 17, under 20, that's a great coaching scheme to control the game, control the tempo, control how your team wants to play. So, I've seen, and I'm going to compare Monty to this, Popovich. I've seen Popovich do the exact same thing. Let's control the best player on the team, or let's give the best player on the team whatever they want and make sure nobody else do anything. It's too much talent on that team for them to have the second best person on the team or the second closest person on the team score only 17 points or under 20 points.
Now, we can agree on that one. I don't think anybody would watch these last 2 games and not give Monty Williams his flowers for the amazing coaching. Yeah, and you touched on the defense, and I completely agree with you. I mean, 3 players scored on Milwaukee's bench. Like, that right there is impressive. They isolated Giannis, like you said, took Chris Middleton out the game, and forced Jrue Holiday to do a lot of the scoring and shooting, which clearly did not work out. And I want to touch on something that I find very, very impressive. I am so impressed by how Monty Williams has been able to control and handle a player like Devin Booker. We've seen what volume scorers do, right? We see volume scorers, they shoot and they shoot and they shoot. No matter if they're hot or not, they're going to shoot. And sometimes it isolates their players. A very perfect example is Carmelo Anthony, a volume scorer that sometimes all the other teammates are taken out of the game because he has to get those shots up. Monty Williams has done an amazing job of not letting Devin Booker become that player. Even times it was hard to reel Kobe Bryant in sometimes. And we had to see the amazing guru, Phil Jackson, be able to talk to him and teach him how to be the right star. Devin Booker, at such a young age, seems to have already figured it out. That if I'm not scoring, if I'm not hitting these shots, there's other ways for me to impact the game. And for a volume scorer, man, how impressive is that, especially as a young man? So for Monty Williams to come in and be able to show that type of leadership, because yes, Chris Paul is there, but Chris Paul just got there. Devin Booker, you can tell, has been coached well, and it's not just out of nowhere. Devin Booker knows what to do to help his team win, and I've loved seeing the development of him, and I truly, truly give all of that to Monty Williams and how he's handled him as a superstar.
And I agree. I definitely agree. I think everything you said is absolutely right. The one thing I will say, though, is that Devin Booker gives a lot of credit to Chris Paul, too.
Yeah.
And so did DeAndre Ayton. And don't get me wrong, obviously with them going undefeated last year in the bubble, that was a big thing because Chris Paul wasn't there. So
exactly, yeah.
Speaking to your point, you can't give all of the credit, you can't give too much credit to Chris Paul because Monty had been doing it for a while.
Well, Demo, listen. It was an exciting game 2. I'm assuming the finals is going to be incredible. They're headed to Milwaukee for game 3, man. So who knows? Maybe the Bucks can take it back. They got to make it a series now. They have to win. I don't know about you, but I feel like game 3 is a must win. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a must win.
A must win for Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. Game 3. We'll see y'all after game 3. We're not done yet. We're going to see y'all after game 3, too. Believe me, we're going to be here for another water break. Demo, I appreciate you being here, brother. Before we go, tell the people where they can follow you at.
You can find me on Instagram at dmob1127 on Instagram.
And y'all can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at BC__TV. That's 2 underscores. And if you want to follow and get more OG Sports Culture content, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at OG Sports Culture. You want to see some more videos? Go to our YouTube page. We have a YouTube page as well under Narrative Control. Type in Narrative Control on your search bar. It will pop up immediately. Into audio? Y'all like audio, not into video? That's fine. We got you covered as well. We have a podcast and it's streaming on Ball Chicago Sports. And it's also brought to you by Ball Chicago Sports as well as Out of Character TV. That's at OOC_TV on Instagram, on Twitter, and on YouTube. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there's a ton of ways that y'all can support, follow, and show love. We will be back for Game 3 of the NBA Finals when the Phoenix Suns, Milwaukee Bucks, they head to Milwaukee. So hopefully Giannis can get that one win and make it a series again. But until then, peace out.